Conversations with Sandy and Friends, a weekly talking segment with invited guests, best-selling authors, international speakers, coaches, and business leaders. A collective conversation aimed to empower, encourage, inspire all that listen. So welcome to our show, Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Friends.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. I am Sandy Sanders. I'm the host and creator of the podcast, Coffee Conversation and Book Talks. I am super excited that you're here with me on tonight. The ladies are on tour of the book that you see there up in the top corner, Step into Leadership. And of course, the visionary author herself, Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant. And so tonight we are going to be hearing from two of the authors that are part of this amazing book project. This is a series, and this is volume 3. And so here is what I'm going to do is do our intro. I need you to share it out with at least 5 people. Why do I say 5? I'm still not sure about that, but I know that in the scriptures, it is according to grace. And so we have grace and favor. So listen, hang tight. We're going to do our intro. Our show is being sponsored by none other than, Dr. Jonathan Haynes. And so we're going to be hearing from him. And we also have another sponsor, which is Pastor Allison Daniels. She's Allison G. Daniels, who is a publisher as well as an author, and she is a writing coach. And so those are our 2 sponsors for tonight's broadcast. So if you will, just hang tight, and we will be right back with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jonathan Haynes, and I'm so honored to be a sponsor for Book Talks with Sandy Sanders. I am offering my services to you. Yes, you heard that right. I am the Songbird of the South, Gospel Award-winning recording artist, 5-time international best-selling author, motivational speaker, educator, mental health coach, vocal coach, and I'm offering my service to you. Yes, you heard that right. You can reach me at phone number 228-313-9068 or reach me by email, sbirdproductions56@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to connecting with you, and let's continue to support Dr. Sandy Sanders with Book Talks with Sandy Sanders. God bless you all.
Yes, indeed. That is the phenomenal. Yes, Dr. Jonathan Haynes. And so, as he said, just reach out to him if you're looking for a speaker. If you're looking for a author, a speaker, and yes, even someone who can say, listen, that young man can sing. He's right out of the state of Mississippi, off on the Gulf Coast, and he is a powerhouse. He's a gospel recording artist and have sang with some amazing, amazing people. So listen, without further ado, I am going to bring on these fabulous, fabulous ladies. Listen, they're in the backstage in the green room, and we're going to bring them on. Yes, the phenomenal. Yes, Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant, along with Cary and Danielle DJ, and there is a Dr. Bryant. Hey, ladies, how are you? I had y'all in another studio. There you go. Thank you for being here. How are you tonight?
Great. Look, I was rushing here coming from my Founders Day. I want to give a shout out to the Z5B sorority family. I popped over for Founders Day celebration, rushed home, changed clothes really quickly, and I was like, okay, I got to get on here. So here I am.
Oh, listen, I appreciate that. My niece is so new, and she pledged, and I thought about you, and I said, she's got to meet you. She was in Virginia Beach, her and her husband, and my little great nephew. And listen, she is all in, blue, white, all over the place.
A sea of blue
She
for
is
the
just
finer
a
women. A sea of blue.
I have to send you her little video. Yes, I'm so proud of her. Her and her husband both are whatever the male one is connected to the female. Anyway, that lets you know how much I know. But anyway, yeah, they're all blue and white. The whole family, even the baby.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness. Well, ladies, welcome. You all are on tour. I'm super excited that you are here tonight. Those of you that are in the audience, and Mary and Danielle, if you will, put your information like your website or information about who you are, put that over in the private chat. We're going to be sharing that in just a few moments. So those of you that I'm Dr. Jennifer, I'm going to go ahead, you take a breather and just share a little bit about who you are. And I'm going to be bringing your information up for our audience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am a wife, right? Let me say this. I'm describe my roles. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm an international best-selling author. I am the founder and CEO of Step Into Leadership Greatness, a nonprofit foundation, as well as the executive founder for Reaching Within the Empowerment Journey, all focused on executive coaching, leadership coaching, life coaching, you name it, your consultant, your corporate trainer, I am here. So that's who I am, in the visionary for Step Into Leadership Greatness, volume 1, 2, and now we're on 3.
Yes, indeed. And yes, as you can see, she stated listen, she is definitely the leadership guru for sure. Lead by example. And I am just so thankful to be a part of her journey of introducing the volume 3 and meeting the incredible authors that are partaking in this anthology series of Step Into Leadership. And so, audience, I want you to meet our other two of the authors that are sharing this journey. And on the tour, I'm going to start with Mary. And Mary, if you will, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hello, and thank you for having us here today. I am, of course, Mary Cary, and I am the CEO of Beyond Dimensions Coaching and Consulting Services. I am a retired federal executive. I spent 35 years in the federal government serving and leading, and I love this responsibility of helping others to reach higher heights in leadership. I have a passion for coaching, and because I really want to see people win. I want to see people win and become the best version of who they are, who God created them to be. I'm a 4-time contributing author, and 3 of those 4 times are with the Dr. Jennifer in the Step in Leadership Greatness series. And I'm excited about this new book. I look forward to it getting out to the world and hearing what others have to say about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing and introducing yourself there. And we will learn more about all about what your coaching and consulting services, Beyond Dimension, what it brings to the table. I look forward to hearing more about that. And we have, she goes by DJ. Yes, Danielle Jaeger. So come on and say hello to us, if you will.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sandy. Well, I do lots of things. I have lots of names. I do lots of things, but most of what I focus on is learning and development, training and development. And I have my own consultancy, but I also work for another company doing training and development management for them. So my consultancy is Lightbulb Learning, and I also work with a number of nonprofits to volunteer my time in coaching those who are getting ready to graduate college and get ready to go into the working world, but also those who are looking to get into training and development. So I spend a lot of my time, either coaching, or I also teach a few classes at the university near me in Portland, Oregon, in training and development classes there as well. So very much focused in training, but also how training can serve as an intersection with a lot of these other skills that we need to build, especially as women leaders. There is a finesse and there's something special about it. So whether it's establishing a mentorship program, setting up an employee resource group, whatever it may be, I help folks figure out how best to build their community around them and support them on their leadership journey.
Oh, wow. That is great and fantastic. I love it. Listen, you have now heard from two of the, there's a total of how many? Are we looking at 12?
No, there are 14. I think counting me,
I left
15.
I left two off. Okay. So we have a total of 14 contributing authors, and you have met several of them in our last interview. And then on tonight, we're getting an opportunity to meet two additional authors. And so I just want to, bring up that flyer here. I just want to share this with our audience, and then we'll go ahead and dive in to this conversation. I want to give Dr. Bryant a chance to decompress, and yes, because she came from one event to another. And listen, we're just going to give her that opportunity, guys, and in our audience, while I pull up this amazing graphic of all of the authors that are participating in this book. I do want to ask the ladies while I'm pulling this up. Mary, I'll start with you. What does it mean in regard of walking or stepping into leadership? What is that when you you see this and you already took part in a previous volume? So what is different about this one?
I think this one is different in that we're giving more. I know in what I've shared in the chapter in the book, giving more information on based on experiences and I believe being more transparent versus I think all of our series, all of our books have been very informative and have provided steps for individuals to step in their leadership greatness. But I think we go into a deeper level of how to do that.
Awesome. And DJ, how about you?
Yeah, this is going to be the first time. This is the first book that I've been a part of. And as I would say, as an author, it's been very empowering to meet these women and write alongside them. And for me, that's been just a very enriching experience. I think stepping into leadership greatness for me, that really means making a choice to be great at what you do. A lot of times people may make their way into a leadership role, or they may find themselves doing leadership work. But making that conscious choice, figuring out how to be the best at what you do and stepping into that light, I think is such a truly impactful way to proceed forward on your leadership journey.
Wow, that is powerful. I love it. Listen, ladies, last week, audience, there they are. I'm just going to bring this a little bit closer, stepping into leadership greatness. And as we bring this, I just want to bring my screen just a little bit closer so y'all can see. Yes, these phenomenal women. And there is there's the tag of being a force multiplier. We're going to really unpack that. Elevating others to new heights. I believe, Danielle, you were just alluding to that, of it being in that leadership role. But listen, these are the phenomenal women that are taking part and joining the visionary author herself in bringing about this third volume of Step Into Leadership Greatness. Just to reset, you are tuning into the Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy podcast. We are on with Dr. Jennifer again tonight, along with two of the contributing authors. And there is a total of 12 phenomenal women in leadership that are participating in this book. And we left off in our last conversation, ladies, just to kind of let you know where we were going is, let's see, there was much about being on deck. there's a couple of pieces that we've talked about. Our first conversation that kind of left an impact is the humanization of being in leadership, recognizing your team, that it's all about the things that go on in a person's life, and knowing that you bring a picture of humanness, letting know that everybody has a life. Dr. Jennifer, if we can pick up there, and then we're going to talk about some other things. I do have y'all's questions on purposeful leadership. And so if you want to come on there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I think about the title, and DJ and Mary eloquently, answered that question. When you pick up this book and you read from the 14 authors, and you hear from our the forward author, Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, and you hear from me, the introduction, you're going to hear about the humanizing, like the human-centric focus of leadership. I think sometimes folks look at those who may sit in senior level roles as this scary individual, and it goes beyond a title and a role, which was talked about in the first volume. But this one is a little more focused, primarily focused on you as the leader, in terms of what have you learned along your journey? What have you done in order to uplift others and teach them along the way so they can be successful in their leadership journey? You're providing your strategies, you're providing your tools, you're providing your tips, and you're sharing that you can't do leadership alone. Leadership is not about doing it alone. It's about being with the team. It's about sharing, being vulnerable, and being transparent. And that is something I've always subscribed to, and I've always subscribed to my leadership philosophy, in terms of people being at the beginning, middle, and end of every process and decision. And once you invest in them, they will go above for the mission. So really standing firm on what is meant by step into leadership greatness, and being a force multiplier, bringing others along with you and elevating them, and kind of leading more. There's a time for leading from the back, the side, and the front, and that is talked about in volume 2, one of our authors. But this is really shining a light on how can this book be used for helping folks to really cultivate and nurture their leadership journey.
Yes, and that is good. That it sounds like that you observe, and in your leadership years of experience, and I think this was the area we were talking about in the humanization of it, that you were finding that they just want to lead and gun ho, but you got to have people that are there for the support. And so, is that something that you had observed that?
Yeah, that's something that Yep. That's something that I observed. And then it was, the focus is on that self-awareness, right? When you sit in that leadership role, and you can't really lead to your greatest potential unless you know who you are as an individual, where your triggers are. And I think we talked about this, Sandy, and I talk about this a lot. If you have unresolved trauma or unresolved healing that needs to happen, definitely getting with a therapist, and getting with a life coach or executive coach, leadership coach, to help you along that. Because otherwise, if you don't, those pieces will bleed on your team. And you don't want to take your team through unnecessary harm that would harm them, really, to say, I don't even want to go in leadership if this is what leadership is all about. So it's really becoming true to who you are as an individual. And Sandy, during my entire, let me change that. Earlier leadership career, I didn't. But along the journey, I began to say, okay, that triggered me. I need to pause for a minute. Let me pull myself together. I'm going to take a break. I promise you, I'm going to be back. I'm going to come back. But allow me to take a break. Let me rest. let me process.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, if you think about any leader that's out there that's a good leader, they're typically calm, right? And they may be like churning all in the inside. A lot may be going on in the inside.
Yep.
But they've learned how to balance that. And that's a skill. That is a serious skill. Because I remember having a leader, and I was like, the building could be on fire, and you're just like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And she told me later on, she was like, oh, I was terrified in the inside too, but
I was jumping up and down and all on the inside.
Exactly, but you got to model the way, right? You got to model the way. You got to exemplify what you need to do and set that example as a leader.
Yes, our audience, Pamela Hankins. Thank you, Coach Hankins, for saying whatever you said. She said, that's good. And she's in leadership as well, worked for a major bank that is multiple in all kinds of cities. So thank you, Pamela, for coming through and your support. Mary, what do you say to and adding to this conversation? We're talking about being a multiplier and the importance of bringing others along with you as a leader.
First, I'd like to say I was seeing flashbacks in my head of different situations because I could relate to what Dr. Jennifer was saying, and also what DJ pointed out about people wanting to actually become the best version of a leader. But what I think that is very important for us to be human, to build trust, because when people trust you, they're open more to receiving your encouragement, your recommendations, and even sometimes your criticism. I think it's very important that we're transparent and like Dr. Jennifer just said, we hold our composure even when we don't want to, but realize that we're human. I mean, I can go back and look over so many different situations that made me, I think I was a really good leader. I know that people that I used to lead, they still want to get together. They still call me, but I had to take the time out and recognize that there were areas where I was short and I needed to develop. I needed to recognize that I couldn't do it alone and I needed to get help, whether it's from other leaders, people doing the same work as me. And I had to be that leader that was trusting and transparent. So I think there's a whole bunch of things that this book is going to help the next generation of leaders or those that are already in leadership to become even better. The ultimate goal is, for me, is to pour back into people what's poured into me and more. Because one illustration that I have real quickly, I'll just say, I always use references to the Bible, how Jesus mentored and coached and walked alongside his disciples to make them great leaders because he knew one day he wouldn't be there. And for some, that just was something that was always in me. I wanted to help put back into people and help them to see beyond where they were so that when I left, I felt comfortable that someone else was going to be able to carry on the work and even do better than I did. So I can keep talking about this, so I'll end right here.
That is okay. That is okay. Listen, if you're you're a leader, you love talking to people. There's some people is how you can lead and don't like to talk to people. You're going to have to convey the message and what is required. Danielle, come on. Would you like to contribute to this part of our conversation, know what we're talking about?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the force multiplier component of it definitely, it has to do with bringing those along with you. And I think that there's a lot of these expectations of folks in leadership roles, like succession planning and delegation. But I think if you don't feel comfortable doing that, if you don't feel well prepared to do that, if you don't think your team is well prepared for that type of transition, you might be hesitant to embark on that type of change in your team. So I think there's a lot of it that has to do with change management, but it's people change management, not necessarily processes or systems. So I think when we think about if there's someone on our team that we want to make sure that maybe they can take over for us, there's that idea of making sure that they get upskilled, that they have the new skills that they need. And if they don't, helping them build those skills and seeing that as part of your succession planning in the long term. So I think there's a lot of combination of these skills that you need to be able to then pass along to others in order to make sure that your team is functioning well, that you're able to develop your own leadership skill, but help others develop their leadership skills as well. And I think finally, there's this idea I struggled with a lot when I was first a new manager, but the balance between being liked and being impactful and figuring out where that sweet spot really was. So it's important to, as Mary said, have people trust us, lead with that genuine heart, be prepared and ready to have those conversations, candid and honest and open, but not hurtful. But it's also important to have impact where you are and ensure others on your team are able to have that same impact. So I think finding that balance between being liked and being impactful, while difficult, it is totally worthwhile. And that's a really big part of that, that force multiplication that we're talking about.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I love it. Balance, the difference between being liked and being impactful. We could just talk about that for a minute, but we are going to be hearing from CTR Media Network. And after we hear from them, we'll come back and we'll unpack that being liked versus being impactful as a leader. I do want to say hello to another amazing. This is how we got connected. Dr. Jennifer and I, Kenyatta Powers Rucker is in the room. And yes, she's saying, hi, ladies, coming along and supporting. And so, yes, indeed. Thank you so much for coming through. I certainly appreciate it. We appreciate it. You could be anywhere else, but you came on through. I love Pamela. Pamela says, being liked, being impactful. Yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and hear from CTR Media Network, and we will be right back.
What's something people don't know about CTR Media Network? It's where content truly meets impact. At CTR Media Network, we believe in the power of stories. Our platform is a dynamic blend of education and entertainment, crafted to inspire and empower creators like you. From insightful podcasts to transformative videos, we offer a diverse range of content that helps you learn, grow, and thrive. Our mission? Innovating media, one story at a time. Imagine a place where your voice can reach millions, where your stories can reshape perspectives. That's CTR, Create, Thrive, Redefine. Join a community of visionary creators and make your mark on the world. Because here at CTR Media Network, your content doesn't just entertain, it makes an impact. So, are you ready to create, thrive, and redefine? Dive in and discover a new world of possibilities, where content meets impact. CTR Media Network.
Yes, where content meets impact, CTR Media Network. Listen, if you would like to be a guest on Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy, just simply reach out to us at ctrmedianetwork.com. Well, tonight we are on with another author tour with Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant, along with contributing author Mary Cary and Danielle DJ Jaeger. And at this time, yes, we've got Kenyatta Power. As she said, love me some Dr. Jen. Yes, indeed. Well, listen, we're about to hear from the authors, and I'm going to go ahead and yield back. And Mary, I'm going to start with you. And if you will, it sounds like that maybe we have talked about what you're bringing to the table, but this is your moment. We want you to speak to the audience and just bring them on into your journey of stepping into leadership and your contribution to Volume 3. And we'll step back and we'll be right back. You got about 2-3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Well, I just want to say that my journey wasn't always easy, but it started off with me challenging myself. After going through so many years of hearing negativity spoken over my life, I'll say particularly in my younger years and then going into college. And then when I started actually working in the workforce, people start recognizing the things that I brought to the workforce, and they start pouring into me, but I still had an insecurity. But as I started seeing what was on the inside of me and aligning that with how I grew up with my family, I started accepting the fact that I was called to be a leader. So my journey wasn't always easy. Sitting at the table with people that didn't want to hear from me, particularly men, I knew that I had something to offer. And I knew that if I allowed those that wanted to invest in me and me invest in myself, I could be a great leader. One thing that I'd like to share here is we don't always have leaders that cheer us on and make us feel the best, but those leaders sometimes can make us or help us to develop into the best. I know one of my experiences was someone sought me out. They really made me feel like they wanted me to be a part of their team, but they tore down everything that I did. But in the end, they really set me down and shared with me that their toughness was as a result of building up my weaknesses. So what I would like to say to people that I have opportunities to coach or to mentor, to continue to look in the mirror and be true to themselves. You may produce a good product, you might have a good tagline, but there are areas that we can always continue to improve upon. I think that our anthology is going to be a tool that is going to help this next generation of leaders and current leaders to be even greater. I think that starting with the internal, I say introspection of self is where I would recommend people to start, because we're not going to always get a good pat on the back, but we can become examples. We can become great leaders. We can be those visionaries. Like I look at Dr. Jennifer. I've known her for many, many years, and she didn't even know I was looking at her from the outside while we were working alongside each other. But even through our careers and to this day, I'm still learning from her. I'm learning that while I have led large work groups, while I have had opportunities to train people, mentor people, and actually help them to become a better version of themselves, there are still areas that I'm developing in. So leadership development never stops. I think that as long as we're here, we're supposed to continue to develop, because leaders change perspectives. And it's important to me that I am helpful to other people so that they can help other people. And I hope that makes sense to everyone.
And leaders, and I was writing, you was talking, and I have to go back and listen. As leaders do learn from leaders. Leaders learn from leaders, and that right there I really grabbed. Okay, well, come on, DJ, and here's your moment. Come on and just share with us. And in addition, each of you all will have the signature question of why you said yes to the book project. So I need you to be thinking about that. Okay, all right, DJ, come on and share with us a little bit more.
Yeah, so for me, I think I really had to look back on my leadership journey, my leadership path myself, and I had to figure out what it was that helped launch me and help me take that very first step. And to me, it was someone who reached out and essentially was a mentor to me, even when she didn't know it, even when she had no idea, like Mary was saying. But she really took the time to see me and understand me and figure out where I was coming from to then provide that mentorship. And it didn't have to be formal. It didn't have to be in a working group. It didn't have to be in any certain capacity, but she, just as a coworker, as a friend, she really stepped up and became a mentor to me. So that's the story that I talk about in my chapter, really about that mentorship and how it stood out to me. But now, as I'm further along in my career, I've found that, not only serving as a mentor to others, but still working with mentors myself. I'm in a senior manager position. And even at that stage, I still want to learn from others, whether they're doing what I'm doing just at a different company, or if they're higher up in the leadership level than me, whatever it may be. I think there's always something that we can learn from each other. Even my direct reports, even my team, I learn from them as well. So I think having that growth mindset and really discarding that scarcity mindset, that there's enough to go around and we will share and we will learn. And that's great. I think that's really what's big to me, is that mentorship and that growth mindset.
That is great. Thank you. Bringing you back off of stage where all of us are. I was looking for my graphic again because it just is so amazing. I want our audience, while I'm doing that, Dr. Jennifer, these two ladies, what is it about their stories that struck you and that it would be a good fit for this book when we're talking about the multiplying and leading into others?
I would say from them, because I don't want to give away too much, right?
Right.
But I'll give a little teaser, right? I want to whet the appetite a little bit. From both of them and a lot of the authors, they talked about the importance of mentorship. They're going to see like the themes that shine through. We had one author that talked about the trifecta, which dealt with mentorship, sponsorship, and it was one other piece. I think it was coaching. And so there's a common theme throughout the book in terms of the value add that is brought from those three items. And I had one author that kind of weaved it all together, like the puzzle pieces that's on the book. And it's super powerful how she presented that puzzle pieces. And it also showed people talked about their stories. And I believe people will be able to see themselves in these in the author's stories. And then not only just that, like the strategies and the tips and the tools that they use and what they learned. And that's what makes the book so powerful, because sometimes, as Mary had talked about early on, and I remember this crystal clear, and this was probably 36 years ago. That's how long ago this was. I had a leader who hired me, and I was a clerk typist at the time. And she seemed so nice at first. And then I don't know what happened after I signed the dotted line. Woo! I was like, who is this woman? I mean, she actually grabbed me one time in the office. It was just bad. It was just bad. And I survived that. But for me to sit here and tell you this like 36 years later, that left an impact to me about what not to do. So this tool, this book, talks about those lessons, and even lessons about themselves. Like sometimes we don't always show up right in leadership roles. And I remember mid-career, I used to be very emotional, right? Very emotional. And I was like, oh my God, I got to toughen up. I got to toughen up and not take things personally, right? Don't take things personally. It's about the business. At the end of the day, your executives are like the business. I mean, I don't mean to make it as impersonal. They care about you as a person. Don't get me wrong. They should.
But it's all about that bottom line.
It's about the bottom line.
It's
about, are you saving us money? Are you saving us time? Right?
Yeah.
Are you helping the business? Are you moving the business along? Like it's about that. And once you start, you as the associate or employee, get that in your mind and not take it personally, you just let it slide. Because I tell you one other story really quickly, and I think Mary may have been the one who mentioned this, or DJ, but I remember anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm shiny objects. Any tips on turning a foe into an ally?
Oh, yeah. We got a question, in other words.
We do. But real quick with the story is that I remember the organization that I led, it was going through efficiencies. funny I use that word, right? In this day and time. And I had a pretty large team. I had like 38 federal government employees and like 40 contractors.
Mhm.
And I was overseeing a budget of $1.07 billion, right? And my leader just kept saying, "Oh, give me your future state. Give me your future state for efficiency." So I brought it to him a couple of times and nothing seemed to work, right? So finally, I got bold enough and I just said, "Look, I'm not going to take this personal. All I need you to do is tell me, obviously, you have an in state vision in mind. I'm not interested in the rock story." And he was like, "What's the rock? Bring me this rock. Is it shiny? Is it this? Is it that?" No, we're not doing that. So to make this more efficient and for me to get you there, let's talk about that. And then I can tell you whether or not it's going to work. Tell me the number of people I can have. And then I'm going to go involve my team because I don't want this to be a surprise. And we're going to figure this thing out in terms of how we can do more with less. But here's the thing. Here's the agreement and partnership that we will have to work for. If you tell me I have less, that means you're going to agree and sign off to the risk of me not doing these other things. So we can have that agreement and trade off. You got me in your hands. We're gonna keep this moving. And there was the best conversation I had. It was no issues. We got through it. And I mean, obviously, like DJ said, I had to go through the people change management piece and the org change management piece, but it's those behind the closed doors, real conversations that you have to have. And even to the young lady that asked the question in terms of turning your foe into an ally, you got to go behind the closed doors. And I've turned a lot of foes to allies by saying, tell me what your needs are.
Yeah.
And I want to hear where your concerns are and why it's not working for you, and see if we can come up with a medium ground. Sometimes we didn't come up with a consensus, and I would say, can you live with this?
Yeah.
You're not gonna give me opposition in the room, right? Can you live with this?
Dr. Jennifer, this is what I like to call a negotiation.
And sometimes though they want it. Sometimes all is required is that you put forth an effort to try to bring a resolution. I mean, I can tell you while you're talking, I see all this stuff that I said, yep. But you know.
Listen, oh my goodness, listen. We got some Q&As. Pamela is really coming with it. And Pamela, yes, you've got some questions in there. I'm gonna hold your other question here just for a moment. And just to reset, as we say here in our audience and those that are listening on our YouTube channel, I just want to quickly acknowledge our YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. And also to let you know is that this episode will be found on the CTR Media Network. You can find it under Books and Speakers TV channel. You will be able to find it on your Roku TVs if you have Fire TV. If you have, there's a couple of other TVs that I will be sharing that in a minute, but I'm super excited. Jennifer, your interview is already uploaded that we did in December. And so super excited about that. Yeah, I need to let you know that.
Awesome. I didn't tell these two about the secret, the surprise.
Yes,
I watched it.
Oh, you've seen it already. That is great. That is great. So thank you all for the support. And yes, so we are with Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant and Cary and Danielle Jaeger. These ladies are a part of the amazing book that is soon to be released. And that book is Step Into Leadership. I'm going to just share my screen here. I love it. I love it. Yes, super excited about the great things that are going to be. I believe that, yes, this is going to be a tool in your toolbox. You're looking to be a leader. You want to enhance your leadership skills or even pass it along to someone that is in leadership or moving toward leadership, and they're being trained in mentorship and all of that. This is the book, and not just this one. I would say go ahead and add the other two. And I'll be asking Dr. Jennifer just to let us know how we can get those other two, how you can get those in your hand. But here it is. Yes, Step into Leadership Greatness. You've heard the ladies share about mentorship. You've heard them talk about, as I said, leaders help lead others, and skill sets and all of that leadership role. And I got all my little notes here. Yes, indeed. And bringing others along. That's what it means to be a force multiplier, elevating others to new heights. And these are the authors. Dr. Jennifer, you want to talk about the other two books? And then I have a couple of questions and we'll be headed on out of here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also wanted to make sure that I clarify in terms of being a force multiplier and bring others along, is that you don't necessarily want to have people to model your same leadership style. You still want others to, those leaders to assume their own leadership style and to really assume who they are authentically. So I just want to make sure that I say that we don't have like copy paste, right?
Copy paste and yeah.
You want people to step into their own style. Like I have, I would tell people like, I'm not your typical executive. I'm just not, right? So and sometimes it can feel a little awkward when I'm around other executives, but then I'm like, I am who I am, right? I am who I am, and I accept that, and that's what people embrace, the fact that I do show up as myself. But the other two books, you can find them on Amazon. You can find them at my website at reachingwithinempowerment.com. And a lot of the authors that are participating in this volume, they were in previous volumes. So you can find it on any one of their websites. You could just put the title in your search engine and Google and just put Step into Leadership Greatness. You can find them on other platforms as well. So, but yeah, that's where you can find the book.
Awesome. I'm typing it I'll be putting it in the stream where you all in the audience, you can just simply click onto it and you will be able to find the books. And ladies, I believe I have yours as well. We'll get that in the chat over there. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I want to bring up one more sponsor. And once we do that, then we will ask you a couple of questions on purposeful leadership. Okay. And here is Allison G. Daniels' information. Just one moment. If you're looking for a writing coach, if you're looking for someone in your to publish your next book, reach out to this amazing lady, which is Allison G. Daniels. She's like a 24-time Amazon best-selling author. And yes, I will be speaking with her on the 23rd. Actually, she'll be here next week. And we're going to have a great conversation. She's got another book coming out. So yes, indeed. So now at this time, I'm going to bring the ladies back in and we are going to continue with our conversation on leadership. So ladies, let's talk about this. I have this question. When you hear leading with purpose, and I think we really may have already dived into this piece, but I want to talk about intentional or inspiring or, when I say leading with purpose, what does that mean? And Danielle, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I think when I hear that purposeful leadership, leading with that intentionality, the idea of like a personal values really comes to mind. And I think each and every one of us, we have our own set of values that we hold ourselves to in anything that we do. But I think being a leader, there's this extra lens that kind of gets applied to it, right? And we all have multiple lenses, being a woman leader, being, a neurodivergent leader, all those different things. There are all those intersectional pieces of our personalities, I think, that feed into it. But it really takes someone intentional and thoughtful to align their own values across those different lenses and really kind of come out ready to be a leader that not only is effective in their current role, but they make space for their team, for their peers, anyone around them. I think by leading by example, showcasing what is possible, what can be done. And even like Dr. Jennifer said, even if you're not the most typical, form of a leader or executive leader, anything like that, there are ways that you can still do it by being yourself. So I think not leaving those bits and pieces of yourself behind, but yet bringing them with you, in fact, really helping your values, your personal values, help you reflect day to day in being an impactful leader.
That is good. I love your word impactful. You've said it several times. I think you've definitely shared with us your personal value, and that personal value is to make an impact. And making a positive impact, leaving that impact. I know, Danielle, whenever I first began to interview women authors, and I've interviewed male authors as well, but there was something that about women leaders and women that are impactful. And I always say, yes, you're leaving an imprint in the earth. There's other females that will be coming alongside of you or coming along behind you, and you're leaving that imprint in the earth. Will their shoe fit your shoe? Will your shoe fit their shoe? Probably not. But you're leaving an imprint and you're setting those personal values. I think that is phenomenal. Effectiveness. Yes, Indy. I love it. I love it. And yes, Ms. Curry, same question. When you hear leading with purpose, what comes to mind?
I think what Danielle just said, as well as you, impact and perspective. I personally believe it's important to um, treat people the way that you want to be treated. You don't have to make friends with the people but you want to lead by example. So it's important to me that I'm clear about what we have to do, what the mission is, but I'm also clear that I'm dealing with human beings. And I may not be able to communicate with everyone the same way in the same manner, but I make sure that I communicate in a way that they all understand. And I make sure, I think it's important to make sure that people feel that they can come to you and they can depend on you to assist them, and not feel like if they don't understand something, they can't ask questions. Dr. Jennifer mentioned about not being that traditional executive. I remember it was very uncomfortable because I wasn't either like most executives, but I think I was very impactful. And to see the growth of the people that you led is just so rewarding to me. So impactful is a good word, DJ. Thank you. I'm going to keep saying it. And just being transparent and providing people with what they need is being purposeful.
I love it. Leading by example is one I've heard you, Mary, have said that on several of your talks tonight. And I think that that is powerful. So we have the impactfulness. We have leading by example, bringing others along. And Dr. Jennifer, I'm going to ask you this question tonight. I have not asked you, but yes, purposeful leadership. Leading with purpose. Come on and tell us what your thoughts are when you hear that.
So when I hear that, I feel that I know that DJ has answered, Mary has answered it. I heard intentionality, right? I heard impactful. But what I did not hear, you can't have either one of those without a vision. So when I think of purposeful is having that vision first, right? Having that vision, then having your mission, and then in order to get to that impact, then you're defining your goals, and then you're defining what your metrics are in those activities of those goals. And then in terms of impact, you could do all the things that you want to do, but if it's not contributing to the metrics, the goals, the OKRs, as they say, the objectives, right, and the results, and is not contributing to the mission and the vision, then you're just spinning your wheels. So when I think of purposeful leadership, it's just making sure there's also alignment with your leadership to make sure there's a ladder effect, there's a cascading effect that happens from the top down all the way to your team for everyone to buy into that vision.
Yes. That is good. So we have leading by example. And yes, we also have and I want personal values, effectiveness, and leading by example, and then of course vision and mission. We are on with the phenomenal, yes, Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant. Yes. She is the visionary author of this amazing book that's about to be released. We are super excited, looking forward on our edge, on the edge of our seats, looking forward to that bestseller campaign that's going to be happening very soon. But Step into Leadership Greatness. This is definitely a book that you want in your toolbox. Y'all know that I say every year it comes around, there is a book. There could be a couple, but this is definitely one. We're starting out the year with two impactful women. These are and audience and listen, y'all need to stay plugged in with me over this month and next month, because these two women, Dr. Jennifer as well as Kenyatta, these two women have led us into 2025, talking about the technology world, and then talking about leadership greatness. In fact, I'm in my mind, I'm going to check their schedules. I want the two of them to come. Listen, y'all might as well get ready. The light bulbs may blow out and all of their greatness, because to have those two ladies at the table, I'm going to have, as I tell y'all, get your pen, your paper, your pads, because you're going to have some notes to be writing. They are phenomenal, and it is such an honor. And so, Dr. Jennifer, I'm going to now turn it over to you. It is our custom as we allow the visionary author to share her last thoughts with us. But ladies, I do want you to give me, I believe you did. I think you did answer my question, but let us know how we can reach out to you. Then we're going to bring the visionary author back and have her to give us her last words, and then share with us what's going to be happening when this book, we're anticipating on it dropping for us to get our hands on the bestseller. Okay. Danielle, I'll start with you. Any last words, and can you tell us how people can reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I love this conversation that we've had. And I think my last words are, I didn't know it was possible until I saw someone else do it. That for me has been huge. So leading by example is definitely impactful. And it's shown me what's possible. And if you want to stay connected, if you want to see what's coming up next for me, I always announce on my LinkedIn. So feel free to follow me there, connect to me there on LinkedIn. It's under DJ Jaeger.
Yes, thank you. We'll get that over in the comments, y'all. There it is, running across the bottom. Yes, there she is. And Mary, same thing. Any last thoughts, and how can others reach out to you?
I would just say, always remember, like Dr. Jennifer says, that you're being watched. Always be an example to other people. Always pour into other people, because we need great leaders all the time. We need people that can lead and not send us astray. And the best way to reach me at this time is through my email address. My website is under construction, and I thank you for this opportunity.
And there we see email is Mary Cary at Beyond. Is that it there? Beyond?
Yes, beyonddimensions.org. Thank you.
Very good. Yes, indeed. So it is my pleasure, yes, to bring to the front, yes, the visionary author herself, Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant. And I yield.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Sandy, for being a gracious host. And thank you, Mary Cary and DJ Jaeger, for deciding to say yes to me and believing in the vision and the mission of this book. I myself knew that I was not wanting to do this volume 3 alone. And I can't wait for this book to get into everyone's hands. I'm looking to for the launch to happen latter part of February. I am so excited. Looking to have a virtual launch party. So I would love for you all to join us in this. And my next steps with the authors is for them to actually see the manuscript, right? And so I'm hoping to get this in their hands this week. I know it's Thursday, so it's one more day and Saturday. So I'm hoping that they will have it this week so they can see how all of their stories wove together. And remember, as a leader, as an individual contributor, you're interviewing every day. And that's another one of my quotes. You are interviewing every day. And that falls into that leading by example. You never know who is watching you. You never know who's watching how you react and how you respond. You never know who's watching how you are treating others. And I know Mary Cary said, treat people the way that you would like to be treated. And then there's a golden rule 2.0 to treat people the way they would like to be treated. And just as a leader, spending time with them to find out what is it they like to do and how they would like to get communications, etc. So I'm going to leave you with that, Dr. Sandy, but I wanted to make sure that I left those parting words of wisdom.
I love it. What amazing, amazing parting words. Listen, you all can catch this interview. As I said, sit back at TV on the couch and watch it. Yes, go to CTR Media Network, go to Speakers and Book Talks, and you will find, yes, Dr. Jennifer, along with the amazing authors of this amazing book. And there will be several episodes that you can find. We are in season 6, and this is episode, I want to say 5. Super excited. Listen, I am Sandy Sanders. It has been an honor and a pleasure to host these amazing women who are women in leadership and who have served and said some powerful things. Do go out, look for them on all social media platforms and where you can find them, and let's go and support and look forward to the upcoming release of this amazing book. Listen, and we're going to sound off right now, but listen, I thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, I love you. Take care. And we're going to say good night and we'll see you soon. Okay. All right. Y'all take care.